Matthew Klix, teacher and co-founder of Absolute English Language School. From the Windy City, Chicago, graduated from University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, where he got a degree in history and certification in secondary education. For the last 12 years, he's called Krasnoyars home. Now, he co-manages an English school called Absolute English, where he spends most of his time rocking irregular verbs and getting down grammar style.
Hello. Let me start. Hi, Mom. She's watching. I would like to thank you guys for organizing this. Thank you, all of you, for coming. I'm going to talk today about the mistake. I've made at least 10 or 12 today, but my wife would say it's more. And I'm going to take you on a quick little journey with a couple of stories. The first one is going to give us a kind of global perspective. I'll bring it a little closer together, and then tell you a personal example before finishing up. The first one we're going to talk about, like I said, is going to redefine how we saw the world. It's, as long as for 2,000 years or so, we've known the world is round. The ancient Greeks knew about it 500 years ago. It was a widely accepted idea that the world was round. So when, as any American child knows, turn the slide, in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue, looking for a route to India for trade spices. We know he didn't find it, but what he did find reinvented what we understood the world to be, how we saw the world. And despite his mistaken belief, he died thinking that he had found a route to India. First mistake. Second will take us a little closer to home. In 1867, a man named William Seward, he was the American Secretary of State, our top diplomat, and he made a land deal at this time. Critics of this land deal called it Seward's folly. Thought it was a ridiculous idea. He bought a big piece of frozen land and paid $7.2 million for it. That's $105 million today. This land, though, is called Alaska. We bought it from you guys. And there's a lot of gold and oil there, and it turned out to be a pretty good decision. He knew about it. Others thought it was a big mistake. The third mistake I want to talk about is connected to a friend of mine who moved to Russia a few years ago, and that wasn't his mistake. He moved to Russia a few years ago. He was dating a Russian girl, beautiful Russian girl, the kind that makes you do crazy things like move to Siberia. Like myself, this is not about me, though I have similar stories. And he got a text message that said, "Давай встретимся полшестого." His Russian was not very good. He understood the word sex, or he understood the word six, yeah? Freud. He understood six, he understood meat, he understood let's, but what he didn't understand was whole. And he looked it up in a dictionary. Hey, see what's coming here. This is what he found. And he thought this is going to be a great evening. And he showed up half an hour late and quite disappointed. So he obviously has not forgotten what this word means. And I wanted to tell you that in my own sphere, language learning is a great way to learn from your mistakes. I see it. I've been fighting this battle with my students for 12 years. It's not so much a battle with my students as much as a battle with their perception. I see it every time I say, open the homework to page 65, and they put their hands down, their eyes down, or their eyes around, anywhere but at me, right? I give them back their exam, and any sign, even a smiley face in red marker, prompts them to hide it in their book or look for the trash can. And for me, it's such a pity. This giving back of the exam is the most important part of testing. It's a chance for us to correct the mistakes they didn't know they were getting wrong. It's a chance for me to understand where I failed as a teacher in explaining the concepts I need to tell them. And so it's just so vitally important to open that dialogue between teacher and student, between boss and employee, between project manager and those working with him. That dialogue's very important, and the mistakes are important. A 2014 study from the London College, University College of London, demonstrated this, saying that those who made mistakes in the learning process learned and retained the information significantly faster than those who simply repeated the information. The generation of mistakes, making the mistakes, is what triggered the mechanism in the brain to remember better. And that's what reminds me that mistakes are not my enemy in my classroom. They're not the problem I'm fighting with. They're my ally in trying to teach my students. And so let me leave you with this last idea. And it's something that connects all of you. And you look around the room, you'll see a great wide diversity of people here, and it's fantastic. And that's a result of your genes, like Igor was saying. Your genes being copied over billions of years, your DNA with countless errors in it, and resulting in the great splendor of nature we see around us. And that's because it results from evolution's greatest tool, the mistake. So that's all.
Thank you. It was just speech. I just loved it, guys. Isn't it great? Yeah, it was.
Thanks.
It was really. Maybe anyone of us wanna ask question.
Yeah. My personal favorite mistake. It's not my personal favorite mistake, but I like the strategy students do when I ask them a question like, how do you spell book, right? And they'll look at their homework and they'll say, B-U-K? I'll say, nope, sorry, it's B-O-O-K. Oh, I know, it's what I wrote on my homework. This trying to avoid making the mistake, like, I'll try plan A. If that doesn't work, plan B's here, so I'm still right. So that's one of them. Yeah.